I'm Christy Coleman, the host of Who Dat Making Headlines. And you know, New Orleans is known for its Southern hospitality, and now there's a weekend dedicated to honoring those in the service industry. We're going to talk all about it here with Larry Morrow, the CEO of Morrow Hospitality. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you for having me.
So we are in Morrow's restaurant. I know this was kind of where your journey started, but there was a place before this that didn't do so well as this one, because this one is really the one that got you off the ground. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so, 22, I was around 22 to 23 years old. We opened up Larry's Po' Boys on Canal Street.
I remember.
Good concept, wrong timing. I was young, early 20s, and just the wrong timing. I wasn't focused enough. I didn't want to be in the restaurants. I didn't want to be in the stores getting groceries. And I really didn't know what it took in order to build a business. So that was a short-lived project, but it was something that kind of got us our start, and got a little taste of the restaurant industry. But it showed me so much that I needed to really I just learned so much from that one project, to where when we opened up Morrow's in 2018, I knew that I needed to go into it with some reserves, right? You can't put all your money, invest all your money into it and expect to do well every month when you open up. And that weren't the things I was planning for at my early 20s, and I knew when opening up a restaurant. So a lot of the things that I identified in my early 20s when we opened up Larry's Po' Boys and Wings, I was able to translate that in when we opened up Morrow's on St. Claude.
So what made you say, hey, I need to take another stab at this?
My mom, she's been in the restaurant industry her entire life, as long as I can remember, and she's owned concepts after that. And we had an opportunity. She located this building and said, hey, I found a great project. What do you think? And so we came in here, and I think at that point, when her main object was to focus on curating the food, and I would curate the vibes and bring the people, me coming from a promoter background.
It was a perfect match.
It was the perfect concoction, because we were able to, balance each other out, and her running the full operation, in the past years, from chef, operator, the whole nine, we were able to help each other out by her focusing on what she was great at and me focusing on what I was great at.
And so we're located on St. Claude Avenue. When you first stepped into this spot, and it was like, wow, I'm really doing this again.
Yeah.
And now to see how it's grown, what's going on, what's going through your head when you think about how much it's grown so far?
Oh man, it's an amazing feeling, because every year at the same time we do a holiday party, right? And every year it gets bigger and bigger. And I look back at these pictures to where we once had 30 people, had 20 people, and now this past holiday party, which was our biggest, because we have 7 concepts now, we had hundreds of our employees there, and it's like a moment where you just like, wow, like we're actually building something. We're building something special, and it's a beautiful thing when you know that you can contribute to, the community and provide jobs and resources. I think that's what it's about. So it's a surreal moment, every time I look back at it, and it's inspiring just to see, the transition. And a lot of people have been able to see that transition from me as a promoter to me as a restaurateur with aspirations of growing this into one of the largest hospitality groups in the country.
So talk to me about this being such an iconic piece now in the neighborhood. People fly in from all over the country, and it is still a hotspot. I know we're going to get into the other restaurants you've opened since then, but people are still talking about Morrow's. They want to eat there. They want to take a picture outside of the sign. What does that mean to you?
Now, that means a lot, man. It's when doing things, we do things that feel good, and isn't just with intention of generating revenue, right? Like, that last name on the building, right? Like, Morrow's, that's my last name, and it's something to be proud of. When we build this restaurant and we invite so many people to, come to this restaurant, and they line up, wait in line to get inside here. So it's a moment of just being thankful for being in this position, but it came with a lot of hard work. Of course, a lot of just experience in promoting, and being able to create a brand and build a brand and attract people. I feel like I personally can bring people to it could be a hole in the wall, it can be, anywhere. I promoted for so many years and would pack out these venues with thousands of people. So that was something I was great at. And when you just, you got my mom's cooking, some of the best cooking I've ever had in my life. As a kid, she cooked, for my sister and I and our family. And we ate good, and, that hospitality, that feeling of comfort of walking into your mom's home, but then translating that into the restaurant, making people feel welcome and showing that Southern hospitality, attracted a lot of people from around the country, and from Meek Mill to Patti LaBelle to Zach and Cody to Floyd Mayweather. The list goes on and on and on. And so many people around New Orleans who've supported us over the years, friends and family. And we're just blessed just to be here because, without the support of the community, of the people around the country who do fly in town and want to eat at Morrow's, we wouldn't be able to, continue to grow.
Yeah, and it's always exciting to see who pops up. We have some of the biggest events, and they want to eat here at Morrow's. I think even you had Neo had a birthday party celebration here.
Neo recently had a birthday celebration here. Yep.
And how was that?
That was cool. And honestly, when we first opened, it was like, oh man, but now it's become such a norm. I'm extremely thankful for it, but it becomes such a norm to where it's like, honestly, we never know who may call and want to do something here or want to eat at Morrow's. And it's become something that you just, you get used to and just understand where you are. But now the challenge is, how do we stay here? Yeah. How do we continue to grow and, continue to keep the momentum, thriving in this industry that changes daily?
Talk to me about the skills that you've had with promoting parties. What do you think you've learned from that you've been able to take from that and bring it into this side?
I think the first and foremost is, relationships, the network of people, because a lot of people may have a great idea, open up a concept, and, just may not have the network of people to expose it to. I think one of the things I've learned from just promoting is dealing with a lot of people, right? Like the amount of people that you deal with on one night and interact with, it taught me how to be, different in a way of just dealing with people, right? And just, it taught me the importance of relationship, because I gained a lot of relationships by bringing people to New Orleans. I would have people host my events. I would bring them to New Orleans and show them Southern hospitality. Like that was it. They would fly into New Orleans and I would roll out the red carpet and show
and they love
literally
that.
Prior to creating this conference, Southern hospitality was something I always would speak about, just because I would say these exact words. I would fly people into New Orleans, bring them here and show them true Southern hospitality, right? So for me, that was just like something I always done. And it's crazy to be here now and having, a conference that we're doing. It's called Southern Hospitality because it's truly like just something that,
people want to feel welcome.
We've embodied, for so long, and that it's always been personable. But now we want to be able to do it on a larger stage and, show people what true Southern hospitality is and what we embody.
So how excited are you to be expanding Morrow's now? Because for the longest you've had just the one level, but now you've got a second floor. Talk to me about that.
Oh man, it's an amazing feeling. Because, prior to getting into the, building, when I met Sidney Torres, he owned the building. He told me, he said, man, I'll sell the building to y'all one day. And, a lot of people may talk the talk, but don't walk the walk. And, sure enough, when we were in a position, he sold us the building. And, to be a person, he don't have to sell the building because, obviously
that's what he does. And to keep his word on it.
Yeah, real estate, he's a man of his word. And, just to give us the opportunity to own a building, was big for us because we were thinking about moving around to a different location to expand. But he kept his word. We purchased the building, and we were able to expand. And really, we haven't really fully opened it. Like people sit up here, but we're about to start our second phase and shut downstairs down right after Mardi Gras, do a complete renovation from the front of the house to the back of the house. And this would be like Morrow's 2.0, the next phase of where we're going, and just trying to take our service, our cuisine, and everything to another level. And so to do so, you gotta constantly re-innovate what you're doing and just not stay
stagnant.
Stagnant.
Yeah.
So
So since Morrow's, you've opened several other restaurants.
Yep.
We've got Song Chung, you've got Spicy Mango, you've got Morrow's Steakhouse, you've got Mondays, and I've been to several of these restaurants.
Yep.
Great job to you. I mean, you've really been like you said, raising the bar, and you've been a student of the game and just really seeing what works, what doesn't work. And I can imagine that that's come with a lot of sleepless nights, and just really, like I said, just doing your research. So talk to me about the other establishments you've opened since opening Morrow's.
So since we opened up Morrow's in April of 2018, pandemic hit. Of course, we had to pivot, go to online, and just have limited seating. That alone taught us so much. But you know, the moment we had an opportunity, you know, we opened up, you know, Treehouse, which is a nightclub, in 2021, and that was around the time where everyone was able to come back outside, and so that was a great success. Right, we did extremely well, and from there I got, you know, way more ambitious. I started to look at everything and wanted everything, right, and I would literally, like, I called multiple locations that I was talking to for maybe a year or two, and they were finally available, and some of them called me. So I ended up locking in Sun Chung, right? Locking in Morrow Steak, locking in Spicy Mango, and, you know, just locked in Monday. And a lot of it all happened around the same time. So for 4 years, we were literally operating and building at the same time. Didn't have the experience, was forced to learn so much so fast, because I basically took a gamble and took a risk that I didn't know I was getting myself. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And from there, you know, we just realized we had to open up one at a time. It cost 5 times. Each location cost 5 times more than what we expected it to cost. And it just taught us, like, all right, how much it actually costs to open up a restaurant, the process to opening a restaurant. And so I learned so much from there. And then we went just, you know, continue to open up the location. So 2022, we opened up Monday. 2023, Sun Chung. 2024, Hide and Seek.
Really back to back.
Morrow Steak in the same year, 2024, and 2025, Spicy Mango. So for the past 4 years, we opened up 6 locations.
Yeah, you've been on a roll. Talk to me about the vibes of these restaurants, because it seems like each restaurant has its own vibe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we wanted to make everything different. You know, the music is different in all of them. The cuisine is different. The experience is different. So, you know, we wanted to, you know, not open up the same concept over and over. So we decided to just diversify it and provide different cuisines. You know, we got the Sun Chung, which is like an Asian Cajun flair, right? Where you have gumbo dumplings, you have crawfish fried rice, crawfish etouffee dumplings.
I've had the, what is it, the crab rangoon? Loved it.
Oh, the crab rangoon. You got the Korean fried chicken. Some of the best fried chicken you'll find. I promise.
I've heard about it.
I promise you.
I have to try it.
So we have Monday, which is more of like a American Cajun concept. You have Spicy Mango, that's Creole Caribbean fusion. You have Morrow's, that's, you know, Southern Creole comfort food, and you have Morrow Steak. Morrow Steak, we wanted to just kind of just show how our growth, you know, to where we can go from where we are now and, you know, get into more of an elevated dining scene. And, you know, so that was just strictly a strategic move to moving into a different direction and sharpening our skills, you know, because when you open up this concept, you have to operate a certain way, and you're forced to level up, right? Once you commit, you commit. So that alone, I think, brought everything up a notch, and it raised our bar, right? So that was an intentional project, and I'm glad we did do it, because now we're, you know, we want to continue to raise the bar.
In it to win it, right?
In it to win it.
So talk to me about Larry's Po' Boys, because I've seen that you're going to be reopening that, and that was one of the first concepts that you had ever talked about. Yeah,
and I think, you know, when we open up these concepts, everything, you know, we're not just opening up concepts just to generate money. We turn down a lot of opportunity that can potentially generate money, but it has to feel good, right? So with Larry's Po' Boys, it just felt like the right timing. You know, we didn't have success with it like we wanted to in the early days, but the fact that we built a strong foundation, a strong team, and, you know, New Orleans is known for its authentic po' boy sandwiches. So we wanted to create this concept, but, you know, with intentions of scaling it across the country. So, you know, we created Larry's Po' Boys, authentic New Orleans po' boy sandwich shop. And, you know, we're opening right next to Morrow's.
Oh, perfect.
We acquired the Subway right next door, so we're going to turn that into, you know, Larry's Po' Boys, minus the wings, and, you know, just really, you know, scale that particular project, a lot faster than you can an actual restaurant that takes a full operation, right?
So will Larry's Po' Boys be like a grab and go, or would it be
Oh,
a concept where
it'll be
people can, sit down and enjoy?
it'll be small, right? Grab and go style, but you can grab a seat there and eat. Limited seating, but the whole idea is to keep it, simple and easy. Grab and go. You can come eat, whether with your friend, lunch, family. Just got to have a seat available. But like I said, the goal is to scale it. We will scale it. We will go from 1 to 10 locations in a matter of 2 to 3 years.
That's what I'm saying. It's got to feel good to have 2 of your restaurants right next to each other.
Yeah, nah. It's man, it's a dream come true because I never knew I would be in hospitality in this way, and now to be here and to be seeing success with it, our whole purpose at this point is to continue to like just create resources and a roadmap for people who want to be in this industry or in this industry and just need assistance or need mentorship. So I think if you keep community at the forefront, everything else will fall into place.
You've dreamed it, you've lived it, and what does it mean to kind of pour back into your team? Because earlier you talked about going from 20 to 30 people, and now you've got a couple of hundred people, in Morrow hospitality. What do you pour into them?
I'm one of those guys. I mean, first and foremost, I respect everyone, right? So just say, in this industry, you deal with a lot, right? You may have this person saying something to this person, and one of the things I always say is like, I'm not disrespectful to you, so you shouldn't be disrespectful to anybody else. And I believe that, of course, as a young black male owning restaurants in New Orleans, a lot of our employees are African American, and we probably grew up together, went to school together, we seen each other, and are young, so a lot of them, tell me they're inspired or want advice and this and that, and I always want to pour back into them. So I do give, I do have conversations, and a lot of conversations with just different employees because the whole purpose, like they may not be with us forever, right? But we want this to be a platform that can help get you to where else you need to go, and that comes from just building a great culture. Like you can learn so much within your work environment if you have the right people around you.
And speaking of that, that's why you've created Southern Hospitality Weekend.
Yep.
So where did this idea come from?
Oh man, it was just a late night idea. I was thinking, had an idea, and when I think it, I have to make it happen. And we started on this at the top of December, thought of an idea, called everybody, like, hey, I got this idea. Oh man, it's a good idea. And everybody I called maybe like 10 people. It was like, yo, we love the idea.
They're probably like, what's going on now, Larry?
I even called a couple friends of mine that's on the panels that's from New York and was like, yo, I got this idea. They was like, yo, I think this would be amazing. I'm like, I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need you to speak on it because they're in hospitality. So when I get an idea, sometimes I'll just let it sit and I'll think of another idea and I'll forget about that idea. I didn't want to do that with this one because I liked it. Everyone I told it to liked it. So I called my team, I called JC, called my mother, called friends of mine. Everyone loved the idea, so I immediately created a group message like, hey, this is what we're doing. My team's so familiar with me just dropping a bomb and like, hey, we got this that we're working on. We got to do it in 30, 45 days.
Yeah.
And I just got to work, and I started sitting everything, getting people to speak. Tanja, Darnell, everybody, Christian, everybody started pulling together, just working on different aspects of it. And we pulled it all together and in a short amount of time. And believe me, it feels so much weight and pressure from just doing so much in such a short period of time and not having that long runway. But if you know me, you know that's how I operate. And it's kind of expected. Sometimes, you won't have, everything won't be drawn out. But I think the best idea is sometimes you just got to act on them instead of just letting them sit and you forgetting about them.
Yep.
And with me, at the rate that I move, I didn't want to do that with this one. And so we acted on it and put pressure on ourselves to ensure that it happened. And now it's happening, and now we can't stop.
And it's the first of its kind, right? It's the first Southern Hospitality Weekend that New Orleans has seen.
Yeah.
You're bringing in some big names from all across the country. Let's talk about the lineup. So Friday, you have a welcome party. Talk to me about that.
Friday, we have a welcome party. It's more of a VIP experience, more intimate than Saturday. You're going to have, conversations from a few different industry hospitality professionals. and you're going to have, it's going to be more cocktail, happy hour, mixer, networking, art exhibit by Art by Jay. So just something real social. Gonna have Keith Lee on it, just a few conversations, but something real short. I mean, 4 hours and just something to kick off the weekend. That night we got my have a 70s skate party at Airline Skating Rink. So we rented their skating rink out.
Love that.
We're doing that. And then Saturday morning we kick off the conference. It starts at 8 a.m., ends at around 6 p.m. And you start off with registrations, and then we'll just go into the conference around 9-ish. But the overall conference will go until 6 o'clock. And from there we have the All Black party that night, All Black affair with Rick Ross and Meek Mill and Kenny Burns. But, it's we have people from David Berry, Rick Ross, Mike Novogratz, crypto billionaire and hospitality guru. We have Ernie Leisure. We have T. Martin from Commander's Palace, Alan Shire, Lenora Chung, my mother, chef. We have
Saw Pinky Cole on the list.
Pinky Cole, Derek Hayes, Mel Carter owns 32 Bojangles. Derek Hayes owns, 10 plus Dave cheesesteaks. You have
and these are some of the people that have had more experience than you have had. So how do you feel like you've been able to learn from them?
Oh man, I think everybody has their own story, their own journey, and everybody can share insight of some capacity, because what you've experienced may have been different than what I've experienced, but the route that I took and the route that you took may be different. So there's some differences that we can share, and so some similarities, that some different things that we can share amongst each other. And, I think, to me, I'm always open to learning. Like, I'm a student and I ask a lot of questions. So for me, I'm going to be learning while all of this is happening, because we're having conversation. You putting a group of great people in a room, like-minded, in hospitality. You're basically creating a community that can ping pong ideas and get advice from each other. And that was the whole purpose, right? To create, your network, is important. And I built so much just from relationships.
That's
this
what I was going to
conference
ask
was
you.
built off relationships.
That was going to be my next question.
And we're extremely thankful. So many people are doing favors. And just, we got Ernie Leisure coming from Africa.
Wow.
To New Orleans to be here.
That's big.
And honestly, those are guys, man, good friends of mine, and they don't ask for nothing. They have a festival that they do every year in August. Tens of thousands of people, and they have done extremely well for themselves. But to be in their position and be great friends, they don't ask of anything, and that's the importance of relationships. And I'm saying that to say that from the day one when I was just a promoter, my whole purpose was to build these relationships, and I didn't realize that what I was doing was planting seeds that would later on manifest. And so that's kind of when you see the restaurants and you see the people coming in. I built so many relationships in my early 20s to where these relationships were built solid. I showed so many people what Southern hospitality should feel like when they come to New Orleans, and they will reciprocate that love over the years as we grew, and we would see each other in different places. But this whole thing was built off of Southern hospitality from day one.
And with the panels you have on Saturday, January 17th, folks are going to be able to come in and just get a wealth of knowledge. And even the folks who are in the service industry, they will be able to learn too, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So they'll come here and be able to get, of course, a wealth of knowledge, network, just hear the things you shouldn't do, right? Or the how to, and just get a better understanding of what's required when you step into this industry. A lot of people get into this industry and don't know the first thing to do. And I recently experienced that. I went checked on a project for a friend, and not in this industry, but they committed to a building. You may listen to a contractor and they'll tell you what's required. And when I get up in there and I assess the building and look at everything that need to be done, I let them know, hey, if you're planning to spend $100,000, plan to spend about $500. Why? Because you have no grease trap. You have none of the things you need to open up a restaurant. So you have to put that money into a build out. You got to build a kitchen. So a lot of people get into it blindly, but if we can create a community that can share information and ideas and resources and tools, then you can help people avoid, a lot of the, mistakes in the trial and error. Because that's the purpose of having mentorship. Without mentorship, I wouldn't be where I am. I have a lot of great people in my life, give me advice and guide me and mentor me that helped me avoid a lot of mistakes that they probably made. So, whether it was in real estate, whether it was in restaurants, whether it was in nightlife, whatever it was in, I asked a lot of questions, and that, that's one of the things that we need to get comfortable with doing.
Yep.
Because I hear people
and
say,
get comfortable talking about money, because who wants to lose money, right?
And I hear people say, I don't have mentors. I didn't have mentors at one point, but I made I position myself. I'm intentional. I go to networking events. I network with people. I meet people, and you gotta just a mentor. You don't just sign up for mentorship. No, you gotta position yourself. You gotta get out and network. Some people want to be successful, want to have a great network of people, want to be a part of X, Y, and Z, but they sit in their houses and don't get out and network amongst individuals.
And it starts with just saying, hi, I'm such and such.
Yeah, and I, honestly, a lot of people saw the passion in me and the hunger, and just I would aggravate the hell out of you, right? Like, I would call you, I would text you, and sometimes you just see the passion in somebody and you just want to assist them, right? And I think that's what happened a lot of times with just different industries I've been, I've invested in or worked in, and now we're here.
So when you called up the folks from Commander's Palace and the car and the other folks, who are local, what did they say to this idea?
Called up T. Martin. She immediately committed. Chef Serene, he was like, man, whatever you need, brother. Everybody I called, honestly, wasn't no. I called friends in Miami, friends in New York, friends in Dallas, friends in Atlanta. Everybody committed. Everybody committed. It wasn't a question, and that's the importance of community and relationships. And so, it was a no-brainer. And honestly, it was fairly easy to pull 30-plus speakers together, just because I spent over a decade building solid friendships and relationships. And when you have that community, man, we can lean on each other. And that's exactly what I did with this. And I'm thankful for everybody. And even just the sponsors that got on board last minute, because, about time, when Christmas and New Year's, we had to really wait to January 5th in order to get any traction with sponsors, because it was so last minute. And we had Whitney Bank that came in last minute. We had Viho Hospitality, Cisco, the bookkeepers, so many different companies that just came on board and helped, make registrations free for people who just didn't have the resources or ability to just be a part of this. So we got, open registrations right now, thanks to our sponsors. And, it's so last minute. We're just extremely thankful for them getting involved.
I know that you say you've had a lot of people who've helped you along the way, but I really do love the fact that you've been able to create a lane for yourself. What do you say to people who don't believe that they can have that success here in New Orleans and feel like they have to go outside of the city, but you've been doing it?
I think, you just got to find what you're, good at. I think you can create success anywhere. It's just all about how bad you want it. And, with success, you don't get success without discipline. And if you get success without any discipline, then 9 times out of 10, you probably won't sustain that success. So, you got to have extreme discipline, and anybody can contest to that about me. Like, I'm focused, I'm locked in, and I'm not going to stop, right? So when you have, the faith of a mustard seed, and you have the discipline and the drive and the resources and network that you built over the years to make things happen, there's nothing that's impossible, right? You just got to really just, attack it and, kill your procrastination, right? Because procrastination kills dreams, and I don't allow myself to get to that point. That's why I had to act on this idea so fast. I was literally waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning, typing things in my notes, and I remember it was just yesterday, literally. I was typing things in my notes, and because I just felt I had a great idea. And anytime I do feel like I have a great idea, I like to act on it, because we have such a short amount of time to make so much happen.
How do you find that balance? When do you sleep, Larry?
Honestly, I sleep, I woke up at 4 something this morning. I have a crazy alarm. I'm talking about, it'll wake up a giant, and I just, I wake up early, like to work out, keep the consistent habits, but it's you gotta sleep. Of course you need rest.
Yeah.
But I would say I don't get as much rest as I need. On certain days I do, certain days I don't. So it's honestly, it's no great answer to that, because balance, is
We're all trying to find balance.
It's not, we always try to find it, right?
Yeah.
And I just make sure I do it. Like I'm not, at home, my daughter, my family, I'm not missing anything. I'm not missing. If we're passing out cupcakes at my daughter's school, I'm there.
Yeah.
Right?
I love it.
If we got family gatherings and dinner by my mom, I'm there. So I don't know how.
Yeah.
But I will be a part of everything that I need to be a part of, and nothing will suffer.
And you will be a part of Southern Hospitality
I
Weekend
sure will.
this weekend. It is going to be just a lot of activities happening around the city, a part of this.
Yeah.
And one aspect you're going to be talking about bartenders, right?
Yeah.
So we've got a bartender at the bar right now mixing up something. Let's head on over to that.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, I've made my way behind the bar with Ed, mixologist here at Morrow's, and he's going to show us one of those drinks that you can get here at the restaurant. So what do you have for us today?
So today we have a smoky old fashioned. It's going to come with Uncle Nearest 1884. We're going to start off with 3 dashes of orange bitters.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Then we're going to do 6 dashes of Anglo bitters.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm talking my way through this, so just never mind me.
No problem. Then we're going to do half of simple syrup.
Okay.
Now we're going to get to the good stuff.
Okay.
There you go.
Smelling good already. Uh-oh, look at me, I'm making a mess. See why they don't have me behind the bar?
Yeah.
And what's next?
Ice down.
Okay.
Now we stir.
Okay. Stir here. How long have you been making drinks?
I've been making drinks since 2019.
Okay.
Yes.
Got
I went to
A few years under your belt?
Yeah, I went to Turning Tables, bartending school. That's down here, nonprofit, and I've been bartending ever since.
How long have you been at Morrow's?
Since March of 2025.
All right, so then I just pour this in here.
Pour that in there.
Okay.
Now we garnish. Take our orange.
That was so easy to do that. Okay, so then how does,
There you go.
oh, sorry, one more slice for
all
me,
good.
sorry. Again, this
There
is
you
why
go.
they don't have me behind the bar.
So
Okay.
we're gonna squeeze it.
Okay.
Wow, and then
Oh, I tore it.
we're gonna run it along the
Y'all are so skilled at this. Okay, and then I put it in there.
put it in there.
Okay.
And then
It's not as pretty as yours, but it'll do.
last but not least, what everybody love, Luxardo cherry. Wow.
Okay, and this is called what again?
Smoky old fashioned.
Oh, okay, we gotta light it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
This-
it's time for the show.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I love a smoky drink. I like spicy stuff. What are some of your favorite cocktails?
My favorite cocktail definitely is a sidecar, French 75. I would have to also go with a Naked and Famous. It's made with mezcal. Mezcal is kind of doing a little tequila thing also with just being super popular. I love the smokiness of the mezcal. And with a Naked and Famous, the smokiness, the Aperol, and the yellow chartreuse is
And so
Chef's
this
kiss.
gives it that smoky texture to
yeah,
it, right?
smoky texture to it, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, cheers. Oh, look how pretty that is.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, Larry, so you've got a big weekend ahead of you. Soho
Sure do.
weekend, a lot of folks coming in town to be a part of this, January 16th through the 18th. Tell everybody how they can be a part of this and where they can go to sign up.
You can go to sohoweekend.com, SOHO weekend, and you can purchase tickets, free registrations, have a whole weekend lineup, the guest speakers, and just all the events we have going on this weekend.
Sounds good. All right. Well, we will see you at Soho Weekend. Thank you so much, Larry, for hosting
you. I
us
appreciate
here
y'all coming by.
in Morrow's. And that is it for this edition of Who Dat Making Headlines. I'm Christy Coleman. We'll see you soon.
Appreciate you.